First of all, I'd like to echo the previous comments. Excellent work. About the presenters of this bill, many of them push the commerce tax, and many of their
Mr. Sajati, please, please understand we are talking about Senate Bill 509. We are not talking about previous bills. And so if you want to say me too and agree with the previous person, that's great. We would really appreciate it.
Sure. My apologies, just past predictions. I believe that investing in something like transportation, especially mass transit to the airport, would have a far greater economic output. Because the Tesla tunnels are an upgrade, but they're not enough.
So we are talking about Senate Bill 509. Thank you very much, Mr. Sajati. We understand that you are in opposition.
I just don't feel that this meeting was done the way that it should be. Please, if you are more than welcome to explain why I was dumped in like that. I don't see how my comments were off topic. A lot of people talked about investing in mass transportation. This is very unique because many groups who are on my side normally are on the opposite end. It's a great opportunity for us to unite. And a lot of those groups, even in Twitter, said that I don't think things were done very well. I mean, we waited many hours. My gosh, if you don't mind, I want to...
I'm so sorry you're disappointed. Thank you for calling in, and we'll talk to you another day. Thank you so much. Next caller, please.
I want to say...
State your name for the record, please.
You should let the people... my name is Thomas Wilson, and I'm neutral, and I just feel you should let the people talk instead of cutting them off and just being a real bitch about it.
Sorry, sir. You're done. Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Hello, my name is Christina Quattrone. I was born and raised here. I'm listening to all of you talk. Like you're from here and you know what's going on from the ground up. And you do not, and you never have. We screwed up so bad with unemployment that Dina is demanding money back from unemployed people. The state is broke, and we want to make money on this to benefit these men who will profit exponentially after exploiting our politics. $5 million to the homeless? I'm sorry, is that the true reason that billionaire welfare seeker John Fisher wants to leave Oakland is because he doesn't want to pay into housing for the homeless? Dina, Titus, you are my representative. Anytime once you won, that man, Jeremy Aguero, lied to you earlier. He knows the exact number, and it's $0. He just wants it in paradise because it's an unincorporated city. That's all. That's all this is. So you guys can sit here also, and you can say that you tried, but it still went through. You're not of our interest at all. That's why he rejected that $1 offer from Red Rock. That was a joke offer. That was a come and get it. But of course he denied because he wants it on the strip. My pappy moved here from Italy and worked at Tropicana until the day he died. My mom and dad as well. And I know that's a joke to you, right, Assemblyman Howard Watts? Tropicana is the ace of the strip. You just belittled my family with that comment, every Nevadan. And I resent our county officials if this goes through, and I beg every Nevadan to pay attention to who voted yes and vote against them next. That's the only way we have any voice. I am a student. These teachers were my teachers. You are ruining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next caller, please.
Great. Hi. My name is Wayne Coy. I'm a resident of Henderson, Nevada, specifically Green Valley North. And I'm here to say that I've been watching this thing since the beginning as someone who moved here from the Bay Area with knowledge of the people that are trying to get this bill passed, that they're carpetbaggers, that this is a billionaire who's only in a hurry because his welfare check from Major League Baseball is in jeopardy. I'm
you
making
need to
my point. My point is
You need to understand we're not calling people names in this classroom, so please talk appropriately.
Good evening, Chairwoman and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Annette Magnus, and I'm the Executive Director of Battleborn Progress, here today in opposition of SB 509. We have been very consistent on this issue over the years, and by the way, I am a born and raised Las Vegan, and both my legislators sit in this committee. I have joked as I come to the end of my time with Battleborn Progress that this has been like the Eras Tour of all of the worst ideas I've seen in this building. But this specific walk down memory lane might just be the worst for me. I was here in 2016 when Allegiant Stadium was rammed through in a very similar fashion during a special session. Somehow, though, reading this bill, we have managed to get an even worse deal than that one. This deal will leave taxpayers on the hook because, as you heard, there is no new revenue to back these bonds. I don't care how anyone tries to spin this. The A's are averaging about 8,000 people each game. That's almost equivalent to what the Aviators are getting per game right now. Not to mention the lack of transportation plan, just as we saw with Allegiant. I also know for a fact that Clark County has not officially approved anything on this project, and the $25 million in infrastructure commitment was not approved by the commission. This plan will take away from other road projects which are desperately needed in Las Vegas right now. We have been here before. I have seen this my entire life in this state. We went through this with Allegiant, and I hate to break it to you all, but the Raiders are still a losing team, and so is UNLV. We went through with Faraday Futures, who promised investments and jobs. That was a disaster. Tesla, where we gave away way too much, and we continue to do so. We discussed it last session with innovation zones, and we saw how that scam played out. And now we are here yet again talking about giving the Oakland A's more public tax dollars on yet another stadium. I have to ask, when are we going to learn? This bill is just another example, and let me say, like I did in 2016, if this team wants a stadium, their billionaire owner can build it with his own money and not use our public dollars like he promised to do over and over to the city of Oakland. I also would like to know where the A's management is tonight and why they are not here, since we are discussing Nevadans giving them this handout. I feel like the least they could do is actually show up and answer our questions. I could go on and on about how the studies I've researched since the last stadium passed, that stadiums are bad economics. The conversations I've had with elected officials in Oakland and all of the shady things this team has done leading up to this moment in their community. So much of this bill is troubling, not to mention the books being closed to the public yet again, but we're being told we own it. I know what the Nevada way actually means. It means this legislature rams a bad policy through on a holiday, despite opposition from their constituents and groups like ours. Over my 20 years in this work, the one thing I have learned is that when a deal is baked like this one is, it doesn't matter what we say or how much we beg. You're going to do it anyways. I will continue to ask this body, when will we give the same energy to talking about what Nevadans actually are desperate for, as you do in giving handouts to rich people? My dad always taught me, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. This bill is like putting lipstick on a pig of bad deals, bad baseball teams, and this owner should not be trusted. I would ask you to oppose this bill, but I see the writing on the wall already, and here on the wall already, and it's beyond disappointing to me.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Eric Jang, E-R-I-C-J-N-G. I'm the Acting Executive Director of One API Nevada. Here, originally wanted to be able to testify neutral, but after hearing, I'm just opposing because as grassroots advocates, the current community benefits agreement that promises the greatest possible participation from all segments already not having a great start. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here forcing our citizen legislature having to do this and negotiate in such a short time. For us, the CBA is encouraging in its intent. We would like to see greater community involvement with accountability and specificity in statute that supported our most marginalized community in a meaningful way for a community-based return on investment. We're also in opposition because the current language of 5 years of the plan should be shortened to more frequent intervals, like annual or 2 years, that be able to report to this legislature. That will be more nimble, adaptable, and accountable. Still, this is a hard decision for our state legislature, so thank you so much for your consideration. I urge you to oppose in its current iteration. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Ed Uhling, Uhling. And just as with the Allegiant Stadium, I'm almost totally in favor of this stadium. I'm just against the public paying for it. In this case, I have an additional sentimental thing. I'm sorry to hear that the Tropicana is going to be torn down because I was taken by my family as a teenager on opening night of this Tropicana, where we explored every niche and corner of that hotel, which cost the unbelievable sum at that time of $15 million. We just couldn't believe it. That's like saying today that a hotel could cost $15 billion. Here we go again. Just like every day since 2016 in Nevada and Clark County. The people now pay for the toys of the resorts as they and other insiders get all the benefits. This started in 2016 when the hotels formed a cartel and wrangled $750 million in public monies, and that doesn't count the $800 million for the construction of the Tropicana interchange that the public's paying for, in order to build a $1.2 billion stadium for $2 billion. Since then, the owner of the Raiders has increased his net worth more than $1 billion, and the resorts, particularly MGM, the primary beneficiary of Allegiant Stadium, have raked off countless hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm not including here the millions which the resort spent in 2016 influencing the legislature to approve this misuse of public funds. Neither of these two parties, the Raiders owner or the resort cartel, has contributed one dime to reduce the $750 million that they were gifted by the public. But it gets worse. The hotel cartel is using its record profits to eliminate their competition.
And Mr. Uhling, could you wrap it up, please? I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Especially the 10,000 Clark County residents who open their homes to receive tourists. This is caused by manipulation by the cartel of room rates, and they want to eliminate the competition. And that just shouldn't be taking place. We should be helping the public.
Thank you, Mr. Uhling.
Hundreds of millions of dollars that flow into the community.
Thank you for being here this evening. Next person, please.
Leo for the Voter Campaign. I'm his communications team. Mr. Henderson's concern is that with this bill, SB 509, being processed through the Senate without proper vetting, we're rushing something in that we should not be participating.
Sir, we have just completed exactly almost 4 hours worth of testimony. So we have vetted this bill. We have asked lots of questions. We've had lots of time with it. So if you're opposed to this bill, please state your name and tell us why you're opposed to the bill, but you have a short amount of time. Thank you.
Yes, and Terry Brown for Leo Henderson. I am saying is that the situation is similar to Wisconsin. Is a situation American Family Field. They built a new stadium for them 21 years ago. Now they're asking for the state to fund $400 million for a renovation for a 22-year-old public-owned stadium. We need to make sure we put those tax dollars to education and into the community. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next caller, please.
Hi, I am Cameron Rahim Kong, a 10th grader and a YouTuber under the name CamStam. Real quick, congrats to the Vegas Golden Knights, and I oppose Senate Bill 509. The lack of public transportation around the stadium concerns me. It looks to be a car-oriented facility with little to no regard for the public transportation. This money could be used for better opportunities. We could use this money, like many people said, for education, also for public transportation. I cannot stress enough, in Vegas, the public transportation is extremely terrible. I also don't want to let a toxic ownership group into Las Vegas that has done nothing but failed the Oakland community. John Fisher has turned his back on these hardworking people in Oakland. They are one of the worst teams in baseball right now.
Hello. My name is Vicky Cardell. I'm a teacher in Clark County. I'm in Senate District 18 and Assembly District 4. I have nothing against sports. I think the Golden Knights have been an amazing addition to Las Vegas, but this team is not the answer. Asking the people of this state to fund a stadium for a billionaire is not the answer. Other major league teams have built stadiums without public funding, so why can't the A's? There are ways to bring a homegrown baseball team to Las Vegas, ways that will not cost the people of Nevada so much, and not allowing the residents of Nevada an opportunity to vote on this is also a problem. After being told last Friday that we need to put money away for public education more than putting money into public education, this hearing is insulting. You need to take a hard look at where you're headed. You're about to fall headfirst into a critical shortage of educators in this state. Actions like this stadium do not help us trust you. Many educators believe you prioritize everything but public education here. Is being a global sports destination your priority, or educating our children? Children are the future of Nevada. If you don't fund our future, what are you even doing? Our Time for 20 campaign gave you a chance to do the right thing, but it sounds like you've already made a decision about this stadium. And if the people of Nevada don't believe you're thinking of your constituents, the next election will have very different outcomes for some of you. Thank you.
It shows that we hold no value in our education system. Expert polls, analysts, and reporters all say that this stadium is a bad deal for Nevada, and yet we continue to entertain John Fisher's scheme to get our money. Have any one of you seen an article that contends that this is a good deal for Nevada? No, that's because it isn't a good deal. The owner hasn't been seen or tried to drum up support for this move at all. Why? Because he knows that no one supports it. Did you notice how none of the presenters showed the level of public support for this move? Shouldn't the most important thing be, do Nevadans want this? Polls all show massive opposition, even though its opinions are 79-21 against. If we pass this bill to give him over $395 million in tax credits and continue to deny Nevada education the funding it desperately needs, what sort of message are we sending to our teachers and children? Please vote no on SB 509.
So, I speak in opposition. Hello?
Please go ahead.
I speak in opposition. Yes, I speak in opposition to it.
Make sure you state your name, please.
My name is Scott Thompson. I speak in opposition to this bill, as it is a racist bill, and it favors one group over the other, and it steals money from hardworking people. The conservative gentleman who's supporting it, ironically, is a conservative and also Hispanic. Why is he all of a sudden switching sides and voting for a bill that only benefits minorities? His group, to be exact. Is he a Mexican supremacist, or what's the deal?
Could you please state your last name and spell it?
Scott Thompson.
Opton?
Thompson.
If you'll spell it for me, that'd be terrific. Compton?
You don't know how to spell Thompson? It's a generic name. Thompson. Thompson.
Thank you. The sound isn't really great, so we weren't able to hear it very well. Thank you so much for your testimony.
Oh, I'm sure. You're welcome, madam.
Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition?